Hello, San Diego, 6 a.m. on your Friday. So glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Let's see what the weather is going to be like, as so many people might have a holiday minds.
Oh, I would
right
imagine.
Now.
Yeah.
We're right there, right?
One of the busiest travel days was yesterday. Could you imagine that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off?
Already enjoying
Good for those folks.
I truly cannot imagine that. Because I'm right here.
Because you're here and we'll be here
I'm right
on
here
Monday.
in a studio with no windows
No,
that show us outside.
But we can dream.
We can dream, and if you are stepping outside, I can tell you it's gorgeous. So that's the plus side. The Memorial Day weekend that we're gearing up for is going to be a wonderful one. We have temperatures right around average. That's upper 60s and low 70s by the coast, mid 70s inland. We do have that marine layer on tap. It's going to rejoin us each day, typical May gray. However, by the afternoon, it brings us to sunshine. So the AM clouds and PM sun will reign true all the way through the weekend. Today's forecast, again, 68 or so on average out by the coast, mid 70s, not only inland, but all the way to the mountains, and upper 90s for the deserts. There's a bit of fog, or at least there was. Looks like Ramona's improved in visibility now at 7 miles, but earlier was down to 4. So we'll watch that visibility, but also looking like a really mild start to our Friday. Coming up, we're talking more about additional cooling going into next week. We'll have details. Vanessa Paz, in the meantime, is checking in on our Friday morning commute.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. Finally made it to the end of the week. We are looking at Friday light drives out there. We got a crash look out for this in the right shoulder on the 15 south right before you hit the 5 connector. So this could slow things down. Let's say you're headed, I don't know, towards Coronado, towards the 5 north. You may encounter some slowing there. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on out. We're seeing a lot of green across the maps, and that's the color we love to see. We are at steady speeds coming in from the South Bay as well as the East County. Average speeds everywhere are ranging anywhere between 65 to 75 miles per hour. And then up in the North County, no major issues out of Oceanside and Escondido. In about 7 minutes or so, we'll take a look at what your Friday travel times have in store. Netta.
Thank you, Vanessa. Now, this morning, we are learning more about the gunmen who attacked the mosque.
Law enforcement confirms they met online and are investigating as a hate-filled manifesto was left behind. News 8's Tori Apodaca live in Claremont with what experts are saying about extremist internet forums and some signs that parents should be looking out for here, Tori.
That's right. Experts say that they have just gotten more sophisticated over the years, and investigators believe that the 17 and 18-year-old shooters were radicalized online, causing the pain that is still so raw for this community. As you can see, the growing memorial behind me for those 3 men who were shot and killed out here on Monday. FBI Special Agent Mark Remley says investigators are combing through a 75-page manifesto found inside the shooter's vehicle. The document promotes a violent race war and references accelerationism, a white supremacist ideology that encourages the collapse of society. Remley says the 2 Islamic Center shooters who turned the guns on themselves first met on an extremist chat room before realizing that they both lived in San Diego. Law enforcement says as these chat rooms have become more sophisticated, it's become harder for law enforcement to try and track them. The reality is you can't stop all online rhetoric, so the responsibility falls on parents and loved ones to watch for early signs, creating an environment where young people feel connected at home, at school, and in their communities.
One is their actions and words starting to line up. So hateful rhetoric, are they also now going to certain rallies or having friends that have changed? We also start seeing changes in appearance.
A real problem in society today is not that we have disagreements or that people hold extreme views. The problem is that we've forgotten how to fundamentally disagree.
Yeah, and there are different groups that do work with young people to try and talk through their differences instead of acting on them. And they hope that those types of conversations could prevent tragedies like this from happening again in the future. Reporting live in San Diego, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Tori, thank you. The San Diego Muslim community is grieving over the loss of those 3 heroic lives. Thousands gathered near Snapdragon Stadium in Mission Valley yesterday. Well, look at this crowd. Witnesses say the actions of security guard Amin Abdullah, Nadir Awad, and Mansour Kaziha saved the lives of more than 140 children who were in the mosque school at the time of Monday's shooting. The chief said they were 15 feet away from the shooters at one point. The victims were laid to rest near National City. Stay with us for the latest on this shooting. Follow CBS 8 on social media and download our free CBS 8 app on your phone and TV. The suspect in a brutal attack in Escondido is expected to make his first court appearance today.
The victim's wife thinks the political signs on their home may have prompted the attack. News 8's Chris Groh joining us here in studio to tell us how the victim is doing this morning. Chris?
Good morning, guys. 1:30 p.m. is when we're going to be seeing this suspect arraigned. And as for the homeowner, last we've heard he's still in the ICU. We did hear from a neighbor of his who had this to say.
Honk for Trump. And so people go by, and they honk. And he smiles at you and waves. They mind their own business and, you know, very caring people. And so I just felt so bad, you know, when I heard that.
All right, so here's what we know. Kerry Sharon was attacked outside of his home in Escondido on Wednesday. Police found him on the ground, bleeding and with serious injuries. A short time later, 32-year-old Thomas Caleb Butler was found nearby and taken into custody. Now, Butler is set to make his first court appearance today, 1:30. He's charged with attempted murder. Kerry's wife says the two men don't know each other. She also told us she believes that all of those pro-Trump political signs and flags are the reason why Kerry was attacked. Of course, we are still waiting to find out exactly what police believe was the motive behind this attack. And as soon as we get more information from them, as well as Sharon's recovery in terms of how things are looking, we'll be sure to update that part of the story. But for now, we'll send things back to you, Netta.
Thank you very much, Chris. And now new developments in the Larry Miliete murder trial. Prosecutors say he has been contacting the media during the trial, telling reporters he disagreed with some of the judge's rulings. Jurors also heard from Maya Miliete's sister and the Chula Vista police officer who first responded when Maya was reported missing in 2021. Body camera video shown in court captured officers searching the Miliete home, where investigators found no obvious signs of a struggle. The trial resumes Tuesday after Memorial Day. And you can watch our coverage of the Miliete case with the CBS 8 app. We have crews inside the courtroom. So be sure to download the app on your phone or TV. Just look for CBS 8. Stream now for free.
California Highway Patrol's holiday enforcement period begins today at 6 p.m. All available officers will be looking for impaired drivers, reckless drivers, and people not wearing seatbelts. This will last through Monday night. And the Memorial Day travel rush is underway this morning. AAA expecting a record 45 million Americans will travel for the unofficial start of summer. Most, around 40 million, are expected to hit the roads. This afternoon is expected to be busy. You can see the worst and best travel times right there on your screen. Sunday is projected to be the lightest day out on the roads. So there's technically like 3 different summers. There's Memorial Day, there's when the kids get out of school,
Right,
and
next
then
week
there's
for
the
us.
meteorological actual start to summer.
What, June 22nd?
So
Yeah, so
celebrate them all, everyone.
I was going to say, in San Diego, you can celebrate all of them because,
Right.
you know,
Year-round.
regardless,
True.
chances are high you're going to encounter a sunny afternoon for all 3
Yeah.
of them.
And the
that includes
weekend looks
today.
good.
And the reason why I emphasize afternoon is because the clouds are with us to start off the day. This is how we begin our Friday morning. May Gray, of course. You know it well if you're in San Diego. Onshore flow continues, that American flag blowing from the westerly winds. The reason why I show you this map that has nothing on it is because that's the topic of conversation. There are no air quality alerts for the region as we head through the day, and that is different than every day this week. We've had air quality alerts thanks to wildfire smoke that has drifted into the region from many wildfires. Santa Rosa Island fire, Sandy fire. We even had a fire out in East County that we were watching. Air quality, nonetheless, is not something to celebrate. We're still in the moderate range for the most part. That's the yellow on those circles. And then, of course, there are plenty of spots in orange that is still unhealthy for some groups. So it's not as good as we would like it to be. We'd love for everyone to be seeing those green dots. However, we're still going to watch for a little bit of haze in certain spots around LA and moving toward the Palm Springs area. In the meantime, though, you can look west from the coast. This is La Jolla. I mean, it's amazing every time you look at it. Beautiful conditions out there, plenty of sunshine. Sunrise was at 5:46 and sunset's coming at 7:46. That means that we're going to get a nice 14-hour day on hand. out the door right now. A little bit cooler out toward the mountains. Julian's at 49, Mount Laguna at 47. Coastal temperatures still mostly in the 60s overnight. Not a lot of relief in the overnight stretch, but at least enough to kind of cool you down a bit. We're going to keep cooling between now and Wednesday of next week. A low pressure system sinks in, really helps to give us a more invigorated layer of clouds that could linger for a good portion of the day for Tuesday and Wednesday. It'll also give us an uptick in our westerly breeze, so gusty winds coming. As we get past that, from Wednesday through the end of next week, it looks like temperatures will be on a gradual incline, taking us right back to the 80s. Vanessa Paz has a check of traffic, 610. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We're looking at Friday light drives, but we do have a couple of problem spots. For example, we have a crash just as you approach National City coming in from the Logan Heights area, and it's on the right shoulder on the 15 right where it connects with the 5 freeway. And then up in the North County, we have another crash. This one not blocking any lanes, but it is on the right shoulder and may slow things down as you make your way in from Fallbrook. Rainbow or Bonsall, it's on the 15 south right at Gopher Canyon Road. So that is a popular stretch, but thankfully things are pretty quiet right now and it's not causing much slowing. On the 5 and the 805, no major issues, nothing really to talk about here. We're still at steady speeds, 70, 75 mile per hour speeds headed northbound. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, average speeds about 70 to 80 miles per hour. Slow down, folks. 80 is way too fast. 70, 75 mile per hour speeds in from Oceanside and Escondido, and about 60 mile per hour speeds to get you towards the city of Coronado. We're averaging 3 to 6 minutes, so really easy and nice drives coming in from the East County this morning, headed west. If you're traveling southbound in from the North County, we love to see the green. We're at average speeds there. This is good news. Let's say if you're headed out of town for the holiday weekend and you got to catch a flight, you are looking at really nice drives across the entire county along our major freeways. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Still ahead here, what's delaying a vote on the $70 billion immigration and border security bill?
Plus, a racing icon gone too soon. Tributes are pouring in for two-time NASCAR champ Kyle Busch, who died unexpectedly at the age of 41.